The counter you're watching measures the tons of solid waste being produced on Earth every second. Barely 2 months into the year and we have far surpassed the 1.5 billion ton mark. In the World Bank's Water Waste 2.0 report on global waste, it was estimated that annual waste will increase by 70% in the next 30 years if current trends continue. The shopping trolley is an illustrative item in our global waste crisis. It fulfills a mundane purpose in our busy lives. It's just a tool for the consumer to help them carry and buy other goods. Even if one were seen abandoned on the street or left atop a rubbish heap, we know there will be plenty of trolleys when we next go to the shops. It was reported that over 500,000 trolleys were abandoned in 2017 alone. When a trolley is left abandoned, its use exhausted, it's not just the steel that's wasted, it's accompanied by the industrial shadow of waste that underlies its production. We don't see what it takes for the trolley to get to where it is. From extracting iron, to forging it into steel, to manufacturing the trolleys, to transporting them. Each process produces both solid waste and air pollution, but the material cost of the trolley manufacturing probably isn't on your mind when you're doing your weekly shopping. Trolleys are just a drop in an ocean of pollution and waste. If you look at any product, any machine, any piece of packaging, they all drag along with them this shadow of waste. Climate science has made it clear for decades, we are causing irreparable damage to our planet. And despite sustainable practices gaining support and large-scale investment, it fails to compensate for the intense industrial production that sustains our global economy. In the UK government's 2020 waste report, it is stated that the household waste only takes up 12% of our total waste. So if every single household in the UK had produced zero solid waste for all of 2016, we would have only reduced the yearly waste from 221 million tonnes to 194 million. It's not a mystery as to which parties are polluting the most, but the corporations and governments responsible are too rigid, incentivized by capitalism's demand for constant growth. Any corporation capable of producing such a massive amount of waste is too influential to be made accountable, and despite many governments promising to go carbon neutral, the structure of global production remains alarmingly constant. Corporations have spent decades ensuring we don't right the scales of sustainability. As far back as 1959, we were warned of the dangers of the greenhouse gas effect, and it's reported that fossil fuel giants knew the threat climate change posed as far back as the 1970s. For over half a decade, corporations worked to confuse and misdirect the public's attention from the looming threat of our planet's destruction. The way we pollute our planet is the most direct threat to humanity as a species, but there is an invisible problem that shrouds our global waste crisis. Not enough people deem it worthy of immediate attention. In our complex lives, compared to the many direct threats to our well-being, climate change seems more like a distant threat than an ongoing disaster. We are told to try and recycle and to put our rubbish in the bin, while multinational corporations dump waste into poor countries with little consequence. We can only begin to alleviate the harm done to our natural world once the corporations and governments at fault are held responsible. We look at our waste crisis the same way a passerby might observe an abandoned trolley. We know it's a problem, but there's not a lot we can do, so we turn a blind eye in order to focus on our own lives. We have more access to information as a people than we ever have in history, and we have an amazing ability to be heard when our voices unite. But to restore our natural world, we have to act swiftly, and we have to act hand in hand.